So in this video I'm going to show you what to look for if all of a sudden you just stop pulling calls. Okay, so your agent's logged in, they're ready, and you just stop getting calls coming through. So there's a few basic things that you can check out initially before you call our tech support department. Okay, so we've got an agent logged in here, they're already ready because we've got pause option rather than resume. Okay, and if we have a look at our real-time report here, this is the first place to look. Okay, so we can see that I'm ready, I've got one agent waiting, but I've got no calls ringing or anything. And we can see there that we've got no dialable leads there. Okay, so that's the first thing to look at, whether we've got any dialable leads. Okay, so I'll go into my campaign settings. So this is campaign 205 I'm working from. If I scroll down here, I've got my active lists within the campaign. Okay, so I haven't got any active at the moment, so all I do is activate that. Okay, and that will basically mean that I've got one active list with 112 leads in there. Now there's still no leads showing the dial hopper, and the reason for that is it takes about a minute to update the hopper. Okay, so once the hopper is repopulated, then because my agent is already live and ready, then it's basically going to start pulling the calls through immediately and put them through to the agent. Okay, so I'm still showing as ready here. If I do a screen refresh now, we'll see if the hopper has populated. No, still showing as none in the hopper. And also what we can do here is click to see what leads are in the hopper right now as well. So still none in there. As I say, it takes about a minute. Now there we go, so the hopper is now populated and it's started to pull the first call, so I'll just take that call and I'll just deal with it, and I'll just say that was a no answer, and I'll pause the session so we can just crack on with this. We're in a tech support break. Okay, so if I look at what leads are in the hopper now we can see that we've got our leads in the hopper. Okay, now another thing to look at is also this call count column here. Okay, so it may be that you've got a fully populated hopper but you're just not getting any calls in. Now that could be because all of your data has been dialed many times before. So this call count column here shows you exactly how many times each of these leads has been dialed. Okay, so if you've got a call count of maybe 15 or 20 and they haven't answered on the first 15 or 20 attempts, and chances are that they're not going to answer on the 21st attempt either, and therefore these numbers are just being dialed in the background until they time out, and then so your agents just aren't getting any calls to connect and come through to them. So it's always a good idea to put a call count limit into the campaign settings. Okay, so if we go into the detail view of the campaign settings, if we scroll down, we'll see here there's a call count limit setting here. Okay, so if it's 0, that means it's disabled. Okay, so it's going to keep ringing all of your leads indefinitely. That's never a good idea, because as I say, you're just going to end up wasting agent time. Okay, so typical limit to set is normally around 15 attempts. Okay, so once a call, if you set that at 15, then once a call count on a lead hits 15 attempts, it will just sit in the dialer database at leads at limit. So it doesn't get deleted or anything, it's just sat in there at a leads at limit and doesn't get called. Okay, so that's always good practice. Now, if your data in hopper all looks good but you're still not pulling any calls, the next thing to check will be your call credit balance. Okay, so you should get an alert, but it's always wise to check it anyway. So if we look at so you'll log in through your Hostcomm portal. Okay, and now we can see our balance at the top there. Okay, so in this instance, had we not been pulling calls, then having call credit wouldn't be the issue. Okay, and finally another thing to look at will be the list stats. Okay, so if we go back to the admin interface on the dialer, if we have a look at our list, okay, and we can enter the list by going in through here. So if I look at my list 233, if we scroll down to here, we can see that we've got statuses within this list. Okay, so we can see whether all the data's been dialed before or not. We can see there that we haven't penetrated this list very much. We've still got 90 new leads that haven't been dialed yet. Okay, but if you can see you haven't got any leads that are dialable in any of these columns here, then that'll be another reason why you're not pulling leads. And what you might then want to do is do a manual reset. If you haven't automatically set your lists to recycle, then you can just do a manual reset. Okay, so you can either set up a reset time in here automatically, or you can just do a manual reset here. So if I change that to a yes and then press submit, then that's basically any leads that were potentially dialable again will become dialable at that point. So that's probably the main reasons why calls will stop coming through. Obviously, if you've checked all of that and it all looks okay and correct, then feel free to call into our technical support department. Thanks for watching.